Alright, real talk. How many of you feel like you're just treading water instead of actively swimming towards your biggest dreams? You know there's more out there for you, but the daily grind has you feeling stuck, stagnant, like you're operating on autopilot instead of truly living with intention. If that rings true even a little bit, you need to hear this, because I'm about to break down 6 game-changing mindset shifts from the ancient Stoic philosophers that will completely revolutionize how you approach and experience every single day. This 2,000-year-old wisdom is the secret code for injecting unshakable purpose, resilience, and profound personal power into modern life. Are you ready to become unstoppable and start demanding more from your existence? Let's dive in. 1. Design your daily intention instead of drifting. We all have the same 24 hours every day. But why do some people achieve extraordinary success and fulfillment while most settle for spinning their wheels, feeling busy but unsatisfied? It all comes down to intention. The Stoics taught that a life of virtue and making meaningful progress towards your vision requires pausing each morning to consciously design your day's intention. Because drifting through on mindless autopilot, reacting impulsively to whatever situation arises, is no way to steer your own destiny. As Epictetus put it, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Powerful, right? It starts by getting crystal clear on your highest principles and priorities. What values are non-negotiable for you? What skills or goals deserve your masterful dedication right now? From there, you thoughtfully allocate your daily time and energy across a short list of intention-aligned activities. Maybe it's working on that career-changing certification, or dedicating focused hours to your creative passion project, or prioritizing quality family time over chores and busy work. The point is, you choose where your consciousness and effort flows instead of just following the path of least resistance. You become the intentional architect and builder of a life with clarity and purpose. And sure, emergencies and obligations will still arise, but you'll handle them as temporary fires to extinguish, then get right back to your chosen priorities and bigger vision. That's radically different from just aimlessly putting out fires all day in a dissatisfying, reactive existence. This level of intentionality will feel difficult and uncomfortable at first. Getting present and pushing past the inertia of habits takes real mental discipline. But keep practicing this muscle daily, because once you experience how immensely satisfying and empowering it is to sculpt your life according to your deepest desires, you'll never accept drifting through days again. 2. Embrace the struggle. Here's a harsh truth. Life will never be easy, struggle-free, or perfectly comfortable all the time. Obstacles, failures, frustrations, grief. They're all guaranteed and inevitable parts of the human experience that we can't avoid. So why do we spend so much time and energy railing against difficulties, living in resistance and wishing things could just be different? That mindset of victimhood and disappointment accomplishes nothing. In fact, it traps us in a cycle of suffering on top of the original struggle. The wiser path? Lean in and embrace life's challenges as growth opportunities. Follow the Stoic maxim from Marcus Aurelius that the universe is changed. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Because anything that pushes you outside your comfort zone, fills you with doubt, fear, or pain, that's all fertile ground for building resilience, courage, wisdom, and strength. If you choose to see it that way instead of as a roadblock or curse, any perceived failure is just a lesson on what didn't work so you can pivot. Any disruption or chaos is an invitation to practice poise under pressure. Every emotional storm tests your ability to stay grounded in your personal philosophy and values. Expecting and accepting struggle as part and parcel of a life well-lived robs those difficulties of their power to derail you, because you adjust your mindset to see them as challenges to alchemize growth from instead of unfortunate problems. And let's be real, our darkest, most grueling moments tend to be our most defining ones. It's the willingness to march towards what we fear, to grapple with what's difficult, that molds true character and unleashes wisdom we'd never tap into otherwise. The wise words of Marcus Aurelius ring true. The universe is transforming. Life is an opinion. Keep reminding yourself of these Stoic ideals when you're in the trenches of struggle. See the training opportunity within it. Let your mindset make the pain purposeful instead of just lashing against what is. You'll find unfathomable personal power on the other side. 3. Make peace with impermanence. Speaking of the inevitability of change and difficulties in life, the philosophy of Stoicism also teaches us to embrace the crucial principle of impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Our material possessions, relationships, careers, even our own lives. It's the one constant we can count on in this unpredictable existence. So instead of clinging to circumstances and living in fear of loss, we need to develop an unwavering acceptance of this truth. For the Stoics, this meant living in the present moment instead of obsessing over the unchangeable past or unknowable future. It meant prizing life experiences and virtuous ideals over fleeting physical indulgences. It meant regular meditation on our mortality to continually realign with what's truly essential. Now, this may all seem a bit heavy and depressing, but the irony is, once you metabolize the certainty that everything will end and cease grasping at permanence, you're liberated. You stop burdening yourself with so much anxiety about how to keep everything the same or trying to control every outcome. Instead, you more fully appreciate and absorb the beauty of those precious temporary moments. You become more intentional about nourishing what matters most while letting go of attachments that don't serve you. You train yourself to be flexible and comfortable with change, since it's inevitable. Think about moments when you were so focused on simply enjoying the present, without distraction, no worries about the future, no ruminating over past regrets. Maybe watching a breathtaking sunset, cuddling with your kids, or just losing yourself in profound laughter with loved ones. That transcendent presence and alignment only happens when you release the illusion of permanence. Because in the end, this human experience is far too fleeting and miraculous to be weighed down by clinging to any one version of it. The Stoics remind us that our purpose is to embrace each unfolding chapter, each ebb and flow, with wisdom, courage, and non-attachment. 4. Exercise radical self-reliance. In a culture that idolizes influence, the it crowd, and chasing outside validation, the Stoic call for radical self-reliance sounds almost shockingly contrarian. But hear me out, because this shift in mindset has the power to fundamentally rewire how you show up and relate to the world. At its core, self-reliance is about deliberately unplugging from the incessant noise of external pressures, societal expectations, and fear of judgments from others. It's about learning to look inward for guidance and fulfillment instead of seeking external sources to define your worth. This was a towering value for Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics. They believed that consistently measuring yourself against the opinion of others was bondage, a chain anchoring you to living by their demands and approval instead of forging your own path aligned with higher principles and truth. Self-reliance takes profound courage, because it's pushing back against our conditioned need for social affirmation and belonging from an early age. It's finding the fearless authenticity and unshakable confidence to question conventional wisdom and trust yourself even if you stand alone. It's also about channeling that inner locus of control and personal accountability. Not abdicating your power to outside forces or making excuses, but asking yourself, how can I show up more fully in alignment with my values in this situation? How can I lead myself with wisdom? This doesn't have to mean going off the grid or becoming a total loner. Self-reliance simply gives you the fortitude and clarity to surround yourself with relationships that expand you and honor your truths, instead of staying tethered to voices or crowds that shrink you. Because once you make this colossal mindset shift away from people-pleasing and deriving self-worth from external validation, you access new frontiers of possibility and resilience. You stop abandoning yourself or living in fear of judgment. You find deep self-trust and follow the callings of your soul instead of defaulting to the prescribed path. 5. Cultivate unshakable equanimity. In our turbulent, crisis-ridden world, the ability to stay calm, grounded and unruffled in the eye of any storm is a superpower. The ancient Stoics called this practice state equanimity, and it's something we could all benefit from embodying more. Equanimity is the profound level of unshakable inner peace that comes from knowing you cannot control external events and circumstances. It's the radical acceptance and resilient mindset that no matter what turbulence, adversity, or chaos swirls around you, your core essence and values remain untouched. The Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius weren't immune to hardship, but they had conditioned themselves through studied detachment to respond to even the most daunting trials with grace and imperturbable aplomb. Because they had clarity on what was within their control, their mindset/virtues, versus what fell outside of it. Cultivating this poise isn't about numbing or suppressing emotions. It's feeling them fully while staying anchored in your personal philosophy amidst the wildest winds of change. It's tapping into an unbreakable wellspring of perspective and patience no matter what's thrown your way. Because let's face it, we all encounter toxic people, unfair situations, frustrations, and tragedies we can't avoid. Reacting with outsized anger, anxiety, or getting hopelessly destabilized only gives those challenging forces more power over you. True equanimity short-circuits that frantic energy drain. Building this muscle takes regular practice of separating your emotional reaction from your thoughtful response. It means getting radically honest about what you can realistically influence through your intentions and efforts versus what you simply must accept and allow to unfold. It also requires steadying rituals to keep you anchored, things like mindfulness, journaling, prayer/meditation, time in nature. Anything that reminds you of your deepest beliefs and most grounded self amid the squalls of chaos. Once you start consistently operating from this cool, unflappable core of inner stability no matter the external conditions, you become unstoppable yet grounded. You radiate a level of quiet confidence and wisdom that demands respect. True equanimity is the X factor of influence. 6. Live aligned with your mortality. This last mindset shift is a heavy one, but it might be the most galvanizing call for living with profound intention and urgency from the Stoics. It's all about aligning your mindset and daily actions with the reality of your finite, fleeting mortality. Because here's the sobering fact: we're all dying. Slowly but surely, that parking meter of life is constantly running out with each passing day, month, and year. It sounds depressing framed that way, but is it not the ultimate motivation for getting purposeful about how you spend your limited moments? The Stoics confronted death as life's vital driving force. It jolted them from the slumbering inertia and delusions that our circumstances and time are permanent. And it ignited a blazing commitment to make each breath count in the finite stretch they had to live virtuously. So I have to ask, do you approach each new day with that same visceral awareness of your mortality? That appreciation for how painfully temporary this all is? That drive to pack as much substance and legacy into the handful of decades you get? For most of us, the truth is we spend far too many days living on autopilot or procrastinating on our highest aims, seduced by distractions and chasing cheap pleasures disconnected from any greater purpose, refusing to face our mortality and what matters most. The Stoics warned that this willful ignorance, this incessant postponing of our finite life, it's akin to being a deserter from life's most important march. It robs us of the magic and intentionality these borrowed moments deserve. Instead, they promoted a practice called memento mori, literally keeping death in active contemplation, allowing that gnawing awareness of impermanence to drive our outlooks and choices, reminding us to relentlessly compress more insight, wisdom, and purposeful actions into each blink of existence. So look, I'm not saying become morose or morbid. The goal isn't to constantly dwell on death in an unhealthy way, but to routinely realign with your mortality as rocket fuel for living more deliberately, savoring every experience, and sweating the big stuff that gives your short life profound meaning. Because at the end of it all, how you choose to inhabit each priceless inhale and exhale, that's your greatest legacy. Let the ever-ticking clock motivate you to craft an existence worthy of the privilege. That's what the Stoics embodied, and what we'd all be wise to internalize. So there you have it, 6 powerful mindset shifts to help you tap into that fierce intentionality, resilience, and personal power the ancient Stoics embodied so masterfully. I know some of these insights cut deep and require confronting existential realities most prefer to avoid. But that's exactly why embracing them can be so transformative for sculpting our finite lives into the profoundly meaningful masterpieces they deserve to be. The path is right there, straight from the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and those rugged truth-seekers of old. Now it's up to each of us to muster the courage and conviction to actually start walking it, one potent step at a time. Because at the end of it all, the ultimate form of influence any person can cultivate is leaving this world having loved fully, led authentically, and alchemized their daily existence into one of deep virtue and resonance. That's the immortal influence the Stoics sought to spark in all of us. What a powerful legacy to pour your finite heartbeats into. So I'll leave you with this: in what areas of your life right now could you benefit most from these Stoic guideposts? Where are you feeling stuck, drained, or disconnected from intention and meaning? Wherever that may be, that's your point of deepest potential for explosive personal transformation by applying this ancient wisdom. You've got the blueprint. All that's left is mustering the fortitude to start building your most powerfully grounded, resilient, and purposeful existence. One breath at a time.